Hello everyone, it's Charlton. Please subscribe to my channel, tap that notification bell, like this video. That helps me to keep making videos and I would appreciate it majorly. So, this story about the guns being seized, 1,000 guns being seized in this $1 million mansion in Bel Air, California, which I have no idea where that is, actually. I'm assuming it's somewhere near Los Angeles. If I get to it, I will. I was just looking at it. I've sort of followed it a little bit, and as more information has trickled out. Initially, I was like, whose home is it? That was the very first thing. Then it came out that it was, this is the dude that was arrested, and he was actually home at the time. His name is Girard Saenz, Saenz. That's trying to figure out like who he is and stuff. But the home belongs to Cynthia Beck. She's pictured right there, and she is the mistress, or she had a family with a super rich oil tycoon, or the heir of an oil tycoon. His name's Getty. I forget his father's name, who at one point in his life, I think in like 1976, was the richest man in the entire world. So, and there was a scandal in the 1990s where, it became known, there was an open secret that these two had a family get together. He had a second family with this woman, Cynthia Beck, who's rich in her own right, whether or not her wealth comes from being his second, not wife, but second family, or not, I don't know. I think she has a net worth, I thought I saw reported around 60 million. She has like 20 different homes in various places. I believe she's in Spain right now. And incidentally, I don't know, this dude's name, which was an unusual name, Girard Saenz, is of Spanish descent. Comes from the country Spain. I don't know if that has any connection or what. And this dude, Girard Saenz and Cynthia Beck own not that address. That address is owned solely by her, to the best of my knowledge. But there are other addresses that they share ownership of. I think his business is listed to an address that's nearby, that's owned by the two of them, of Cynthia Beck and Girard Saenz, the dude who was arrested, who's already out on bail. He posted $50,000 bail or whatever. And he, in the end, it wouldn't shock me at all because of the wealth here that, that he doesn't face any charges or something that's greatly reduced, because it's not illegal to have 1,000 guns in your home. And I think I believe his version is that we don't know anything, but the assumption is he's a federal arms dealer, sells guns nationally. And but there's a lot of different legal aspects to that, and sometimes arms dealers don't follow all the rules, maybe not even intentionally, but because there's so many of them, particularly being in California. So the charges for him, it's still highly unusual, extremely unusual that somebody who of this wealth, Cynthia Back, has a man who I guess is, at least he was in the home when they raided it, and I assume he's living there part-time, maybe, and they're his weapons. I'm assuming not hers, so they're in her home. It's very unusual for sure. In any event, Saenz was arrested on suspicion of violating California's law banning the manufacture, distribution, transportation, and importation of assault rifles or .50 caliber weapons. Authorities say Saenz was selling the guns found in the mansion. He was released from jail Thursday on a $50,000 bond. Some of the properties are co-owned. In more recent years, Beck has acquired multiple properties in Los Angeles and San Francisco, so it's unclear if she lived at the sprawling Bel Air home. The Los Angeles Times reported some of the properties are co-owned with a licensed general building contractor named Girard Saenz, who was in the home at the time of the raid. the Los Angeles Times does do a pretty good job of kind of telling you what's going on here. Girard Saenz, 57, was arrested on suspicion of violating California's law regarding assault weapons and 50 caliber Browning machine guns. The law prohibits the manufacture, distribution, transportation, importation, and sale of such firearms except in specific circumstances. He was released from jail Thursday morning after posting $50,000 bond, according to jail records. Here's what we know. Who is Girard Saenz? A law enforcement source not authorized to speak publicly told the Times that Saenz was selling guns and that some of the weapons may have been fully automatic, which are illegal in California. Officials received a tip about a person illegally manufacturing and selling guns in a home in the 100 block of North Beverly Glen Boulevard, the Los Angeles Police Department said. Court records show the property is owned by Cynthia Beck, who has 3 daughters, with Paul Getty's son, Gordon Getty, who is a longtime companion of Saenz. A source told the Times that a few of the items received seized at the Bel Air mansion were military-grade weapons. Beck bought the property in January 2001, but it remains unclear what, if any, connection she has to Wednesday's events. She could not be reached for comment after the raid. Public records show that Saenz has been a licensed building contractor since 1994, operates a business called Girard Saenz and Associates. The business address is a home on North Bunker Hill Avenue in Los Angeles that he owns with Beck, with the woman. That property was also searched by authorities Wednesday, law enforcement sources told the Times. Public records show Beck and Saenz together owned several pieces of property in Los Angeles and an office building in San Francisco. Neither Saenz nor his attorney could be reached for comment. So he's got considerable wealth himself, whether he's getting that from Beck or not, but he owns several pieces of property, including an office building in San Francisco. That has to be worth a small fortune right there. Anyways, what sparked the raid? Police launched an investigation after receiving an anonymous tip about someone selling guns at the home. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives said in a statement that its agents searched the Bel Air home after discovering an individual was illegally selling firearms outside the scope of the federal license the person possesses. Video of the raid shows what appears to be ATF officials reviewing the trove of guns stacked on the ground, etc. What do legal experts say? Steve Cooley, a former Los Angeles County District Attorney, said the number of firearms Saenz is accused of having is not the problem. There's nothing wrong in itself. There's nothing in itself wrong with having thousands of guns. It all depends on whether they comply with California and federal laws, he cautioned, noting that even with a federal firearms license to sell weapons, the legal aspects of doing so are very complex. Chuck Mike McKell, a well-known gun rights attorney, said that having 1,000 guns isn't that unusual for a federal firearms dealer. He said dealers often keep their own private collections and then separately keep an inventory of weapons in stock for the business. As a federally licensed weapons dealer, a person can sell guns elsewhere that are not compliant with California's assault rifle laws. The state, however, requires dealers to have a dangerous weapons permit, McKell said. Sometimes, he said, dealers can overlook the correct paperwork and run afoul of the law, noting that sensational search warrants with piles of guns often end up without charges. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happens here. So it's just unusual, I have a theory, I do, but I don't know that I'm even to tell my theory, I've had some theories that I haven't talked about for a while. It's about an organization that people think doesn't exist anymore, but I think it does, and I think it's quite powerful, and particularly in certain parts of the country, whatever. Girard Damien Saenz is the man who was arrested as part of the mysterious raid on a multi-million-dollar Bel Air mansion owned by the former mistress of the son of billionaire oil tycoon J. Paul Getty. On Wednesday, officials investigating the illegal selling and manufacture of weapons reported over 1,000 guns were recovered from Cynthia Beck's home in Bel Air, California. Beck, the former mistress of billionaire Gordon Getty. Saenz is cooperating with the investigation and was released from jail after posting $50,000 bail. Girard Saenz was held by police on $50,000 bond and bailed out the following day. Formal charges have not been filed. This is a big stash. It's beyond comprehension that somebody can have so many weapons in a residence like this, in a neighborhood like this. His fiance was the former aide of Larry Lawrence. He's got a very strange connection to the Clintons. It's a very roundabout way. Girard Saenz' former fiance was an aide to an ambassador to Switzerland under President Clinton that basically falsified his history that he was, a World War II vet. And he literally had to be, his body had to be exhumed because it was buried at Arlington Cemetery, I believe, and it was done so falsely because he wasn't a World War II vet, something like that. I'm not even going to read that. Saenz is a licensed contractor. His office building is owned by Beck. I don't know if it's owned by Beck and him or just Beck. I think it may be just Beck. That would be my guess, but I don't know. The other report just said that it was owned by the both of them. The current office building for Girard Saenz and Associated is located in downtown Los Angeles at 728 North Bunker Hill Ave, which is owned by Beck. According to Bill Zoom, Saenz is a licensed contractor in the state of California. Actually, the office building was in San Francisco that was being talked about. This might be where his current business is housed. They're two different buildings, possibly. I don't know, man. It's just strange. This isn't the first time the Bel Air home has had legal issues. That's about a conflict with a neighbor that's pretty much insignificant. I don't know. It's just kind of strange. And, here is the dude. Like I said, here's the dude. He's being arrested. That's his picture right there, which is not a very good picture, obviously. And I don't know, dude. I don't know, man. I don't know. Here he is being arrested and put into the paddy wagon or the police vehicle. I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's just so weird. I said I don't know enough. Pretty much the story there. My theory's not even good enough to mention, especially after reading over it and thinking through it. Tell you the truth, it's not that interesting enough of a story. It's odd, though. Why do these rich people, obviously he's an arms dealer, but to have it in this multi-million-dollar home, it's not even owned by him. So strange. That's the story there. All right, thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.